When the Curfew Blows by DeVille. When the days pass by like sand in an hourglass, observed by an impatient child, and the weather keeps changing, and people are ruthless, and the ordnance spots keeps sweeping up and down the alleys before curfew hits. Because when the curfew blows, so do they. Shotgun gauges and machine gun rapid fire out of several dozen cannons spinning madly with their watchful 360-degree camera eyes, madly soaking up as much input and data and information, rolling along like miniature tanks as drones hover above them. They scour the town for anyone in the wrong place at the wrong time. No alleyway inhabited ever, no street, sidewalk, or path busied any time after curfew. The ordinance gave way from the Christian nationalists. They stormed every conference, related and unrelated. They mutinized every authority they could legally stop them. They waved their papers and fists and smartphone votes and touted their bombs and victories, which they claimed after no peaceful deal was ever made with any foreign entity or domestic. Schools in foreign countries smoldered as senile men who can barely walk pushed their touchscreens and puffed their fat cigars. The ordinance gave way and everybody followed the order. Everyone who could anyways. They hurried to their homes in piercing UV rays which bore through the smog and burnt their dried-up faces. They made sure after the demonstration. The great demonstration of 37 took place in May. Now the ordinance had finally been declared rule of law. It was 2 weeks before All Hallows Eve. There was uproar against no more trick-or-treating. The sweltering October sun cooked everyone's brains into submission, bending their wills to a great technological mass demonstrations of power. It was October 17th, and the citizens of Cantville ran if they had to, scurrying against wind over graveled sidewalks to their nests. Like roaches, the sophisticated hominids, tired by centuries of abuse, they ran. They ran like there was no tomorrow because lingering would seal that doom. Lingering outside, meandering, wandering, strolling leisurely had been banned after 8 p.m. Of course, my grandpa had told me about a time he took such a stroll and was stopped by a policeman in a black and white Chevrolet Impala police car. He told me how the cop had asked him questions. "Son, what are you doing?" "Taking a stroll." "Why are you out here?" "Enjoying the fresh air," my grandpa said. "Why don't you go home?" The cop lowered his sunglasses. Grandpa said, I think I will." It was technically not a lie. Grandpa was a nocturnal hound who loved to collect night crawlers on summer nights as the thunder clouds whispered through the Tennessee hills. Static would raise the hair on his arms, and he said depending which way my hair pointed, that way led to the worms. Then Grandpa would spit out his sunflower seed shells and look over at his fishing pole. He loved to row in the lake in his rowboat and listen to his portable radio while unsuccessfully fishing. He'd take a nap, and then, like he promised the cop, he'd mosey on home. The lakes were all poison traps now, the fish all dead, the ground too cracked and dehydrated for worms. Nobody could ever really get a good look at the moon anymore. Only guesses could be made when it was full or new or anything waxed and waned between. Now there was nobody outside after 8 at night, and nobody dared be seen out and about except Timmy Seward. Now Seward was a deaf hobo who had no friends. Nobody thought to fill him in on the ordinance, the great demonstration, or anything newsworthy at all. Timmy Seward was content sleeping on a bus stop bench with a bottle of rye whiskey, almost dropping from his limp hands, weakened by a drunken sloth and an almost deep sleep. He was dreaming about girls, probably. Past loves and past traumas and grievances. Past jobs, past lives as a successful car salesman. 55 years old and retired from society through no fault of his own. Timmy couldn't hear, but he felt the bench rumble. Closer and closer it came, nearing him foot by foot. He began to go back to sleep as it hunted him, hungry with no satiable appetite like Timmy's thirst for booze. That 80-degree October night sweltered on for endless, helpless hours. As the last hobo was cleaned off the street, the folks of Cantville watched their screens in many forms, heard no morbid cries over their Bluetooth headphones. Nobody saw the blood get cleaned up by drone after drone after drone. For as much as I wish I hadn't seen it all, I gently closed my blinds to sit down with a story or something. Now I don't think I can focus on anything, not even sleep.